This meeting is being recorded.
So Naya, go ahead. What is the quality of Aphrodite? What do you think? How would you feel?
Maybe it's perfect. I feel Aphrodite is a flow energy. Which within myself, I feel my masculine energies are trying to put her in a box, but water does go everywhere anyhow. Water is able to move anywhere. So it's so funny. That's the first thing I see if I tap into my own body and my own energy system. It's like water, is even stronger as a stone because it's washing and rubbing and like. Yeah, and then I get to tune into this pearl of an oyster. So, and how the masculine and the feminine energies are working together to make this to a pearl from the sand and the water. But it's funny, but yeah, I don't know why I see now masculine as sand. It's not. I don't know. That's coming up just up, and so wow. I think wow. It's if I mention this pearl and this the sand and the water, which is rubbing this to a beautiful pearl. This oyster, of course, this has shells, 2 shells, and the water and sand are coming in anyhow, and so there's a lot sort of pressure. So I think actually this pressure within the shell or something. I don't know why I tune into this now. Is causing a kind of steamy high pressure, which also makes Aphrodite to face our emotions more within a certain pressure, and then there's a sort of but I don't want it really. I don't want to touch into my feelings too much because I have to go. You have to do. I have to fix. And then, but feminine keeps on inviting somehow, and so that's the process coming from within. I see. And it's funny to tap into it. I didn't realize it all. No.
That is also why that I don't want to share first, because if I share first, you will match, sort of like listen to me, and you will take my information of it. But when I listen to you guys to know that what is that really mean, even though that like you said, well, I never tap into that. So this is an aha moment, because when you in this circle, especially in the goddess circle, it's the heart alchemy. When you share, the alchemy starting. Because you said, oh my God, I don't know why I have this. Oh wow, like it's happening.
Yes.
So everything about God and goddesses is alchemical process. So that is why it's called an archetype, and it's energy. Yeah, thank you for sharing, Naya.
Well, thank you.
I think my connection
There
is
we go.
not. There we go.
Well, it's okay because I've had the god Aphrodite on my altar for like a year. I could feel warm. And then this card too has been on my altar. It's sensuality too since last week. So yeah, so these are from Susie Cherub's cards, her oracle deck. Hey Susie, love you. And I journeyed with Susie with her water temple oracle, and it had goddess Aphrodite. And I remember when we were talking about goddess Aphrodite, how it was like this wave of peace. So I associate her with like pink, the color pink, as it's perfect because I'm just wearing this today, and cherry blossoms, and it's spring here and everything. It's beautiful. It's like the beauty tapping. Well, goddess Aphrodite, it's like tapping into the beauty of nature, and like self-love, self-care, sensuality, of creativity, of like I'm creating more art, connecting with Mother Nature, Mother Earth, and Gaia. So with goddess Aphrodite, it's just that deeper love. Like I created a flower essence the other day. So it's like she's been working in the background without me even realizing until now. Because I mean, like I was journeying with Aphrodite for mm, like 4 months. Yeah, 4 months or so. That every time Valentine's Day comes up, I always initiate the energy. But yeah, she's just all full of love. I associate her with flowers and plants, like a goddess of nature as well. Just that unconditional love, like the higher heart energy, which is like the pink energy, like rose quartz, like my rose quartz. Like it's like, yeah, everything pink, and like tuning into like the feminine creativity, merging with my masculine essence though. But it's like, yeah, everything creative, and that inspiration that just flows through everything. It's the creative spark. That's what I thrive in. That's what I focus on each and every day, is that inspiration, that creativity. How can I be inspired? How can nature inspire me? And then I just take action through like drawing code or my artwork, doing honoring. So it's like, yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So it's really good to bring Aphrodite in again to like prominence, like stage. Yeah.
How's the when you journey with her 4 months? How does this energy that have shifted in your life? Can you hear me?
Sorry, what?
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to ask a call question is you journey Aphrodite for 4 months, right? So how
Okay.
is this archetype energy has shifted your life?
Got it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Definitely more deeper awareness of self, like mindfulness of like getting to, so a lot of heart healing for me, like at the core, like wounds, like helping me with like mother wounds, like woman wounds, like feminine wounds as well. So it's like bringing it to the forefront, like from my core, my stomach, my creating center, to the heart, to like heal, like allowing the heart to open more, allowing the heart to blossom open more, allowing those tears. She helps me really to allow those like tears to be like shed, like that, to then create like diamond tears out of so much beauty, that transformation, that rebirth. And like I have never loved myself as much as I have the last year. Like it's like I could never even have imagined the depths of how God is just so supportive and it's not judgmental. So It's just there. But also like hold space and hold you, but want you to take action too. So it's like this relationship, this co-creation. Yeah, it's beautiful. Very beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. So beautiful.
Yeah, it's really
So-
beautiful.
Yeah. So now I wanted to share into what I know to you, and I wanted to share probably from inside first, and then from inside we'll go outside. So for me, Aphrodite is a archetypal energy. So when I say archetypal energy, it's like a frequency. So we can embody the energy by becoming her by using our vessel to receive. So we are not becoming her. We're using our vessel to receive that frequency and the energy of that. So that comes with a lot of surrender and a lot of like really looking to myself, because Aphrodite for me, it's just like more like a Venus, love and sensuality, pleasure that she has. And I want you to bring to your journey is when there's a woman, whether it's men or women, especially the women walk past the street, she has that magnetic that you will look at her and your eye will follow. And then your mind started to talk. So that talk, a lot of the time, is like whether you embrace her, whether you jealous of her, whether you competition of her, like competitive, like compete with her. Just on the street, like you're in a shopping mall, right? You saw a beautiful woman, but Aphrodite may not need to be beautiful in the place. She don't have to be like physical beautiful, but that is a magnetic that your eye will just go, you will stare, you will follow her. So that is the Aphrodite magnetic. And your mind child, you will be scanning her. Because when you follow that person, you were trying to scan her. So why am I on her? So in the patriarchal system or the world, the woman will be comparing. And the man also will do a lot of judgment on top. Men and women is the same. They will have a lot of judgment. So yeah. So that is also why that a lot of Aphrodite archetypal women, they're hiding. They're not showing up of themselves, of the energy in them, because of the suppress, and that it becomes shadow of the Aphrodite shadow. And it's really profound when I tap into that. This morning, I have a note that is writing down here. So for me to journey Aphrodite last year as well, I have personal growth in myself. The question that I wanted to bring into here today, and also for those who have replay or watch this at the moment on Facebook, is what do I want to illuminate? So in Aphrodite energy is illuminate from within, that is shine outside, that is magnetized, that someone will be just keep on looking at her. So yeah, so that is illumination.
Yeah.
So what do I want to illuminate? And what do I want to draw in because of that magnetism that she has? And also that locate the desire within. So those are the questions. What else did I write here? Oh, okay. What are we seeking to illuminate within self? What is our true desire, our worthiness?
Wow.
So if one of you, or if some of the question you have already done, and I say, oh, I've done this already. you know what? We do it again. Just like a journey like many years again and again. And that is called refinement. Done now. You're done? Okay, thank you. She's done. She done her Aphrodite journey, this one.
Yay! Good for you, Paige.
All right, thank you. All right, yeah, so that is called refinement. So we always will go refine and refine and refine by using the archetypal energy. If you journey once, just like how you journey last year, like this year, if you journey again, it's a refinement. It's not going to repeat the same thing. It will, but you will know that, okay, somehow when you reflect back, it will refine your journey in a very beautiful way. So yeah, it's always refinement, just like improvement. But I wanted to use the word refinement. So yeah, instead of improvement, it's sort of like, oh, I have to do something to improve. But refinement is sort of like, wow, the frequency is different, and then you're receiving different. So yeah, so that is the question that I want all of you to contemplate as well. And Aphrodite, for outside visual, right, is like, oh, it's a product. It's the pearl.
Yeah.
It's like beautiful, pure, like fair, and sometimes people call it as a virgin, and all of that is outside. That is from our eye. So that is where the patriarchy system coming in as well. That I try to say that because I really wanted to focus on like what is the patriarchy system, and then with Aphrodite, instead of going to esoteric way. So yeah, and also one thing that is really important that we always think that, I don't want to say we, I said that me always think that Aphrodite is young. Like when you become older, when you journey Aphrodite, it's a little bit weird. Like what I'm talking about, aging Aphrodite energy. How do you incorporate that younger energy in the aging age? So yeah, so I said that I journey 4 years. Okay, great. So 4 years. So I started when I was 40. So obviously I'm 44. So I was like, well, I haven't really much gap, but I heard the priestess sisters that is in the priestess temple that I was with, a lot of them have already stepping in 50s and 60s and also 80. When this Aphrodite come into the field, right? It's just like, oh, I'm done it. But what is actually, I'm done it before. I've done it more than 10, 20 years. What else can I do it? Right? What else can I do? Like, can I do with this energy? So for me to understand that is simplicity. It's not complicated anymore, not complex. We fall into the depths. I want the quality of the love. I want the depth of the love. And I want the simplicity of it. So that is how I fell into when, like when I hear them, especially those like 50 plus, right? They're going into menopause, or some of them pre-menopause. Like, I don't really know how's that feel, but I know that my mom didn't really share me much, but I know that my mother-in-law shared with me. She got anxiety attack. And there's a lot of hormonal issues as well. So how do you actually journey with these Aphrodite? Can you guys hear me? I think that this is like in and out, but it's all gonna be okay. Oh, I just wait until everybody move.
Our connection is
Okay.
not stable, Lilian.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Can you guys hear me now? Okay. Yeah, my
Now
connection here. Okay.
But
So yeah, so I wanted to encourage women as well. It's not only your 20s, your 30s, you can journey Aphrodite. When you're 40, 50, 70, 60, 80, you also can journey Aphrodite. So yeah. So that is it's because you're in the different stage, and then you can actually using this energy to be even more, you become more joyful, more open, and more freedom, let's say. So whatever that the life where it bring you to. So yeah. And definitely being into like more the quality. I'm feeling into the quality and the depths of it. Because obviously the depth of 20s and the depth of 50s is very different. So yeah.
Yeah.
So another conversation here is a little bit different, but I wanted to be, this is real. Like we are all getting older every year. We're not getting younger. Yeah. The body have expiry date. The soul will leave, but body will have expiry date. So yeah. So that's why I wanted to be into these goddesses as well, because how do we see them in the now? And also that these bring into like, you know, like why am I sharing these as well as in the patriarchy or the modern world? Who are the most famous Aphrodite?
Last words I didn't hear.
Okay, who are the most famous Aphrodite? She may not be seen as Aphrodite, but she has all the Aphrodite, the look, the visual of it.
Oh, it's funny because it's funny you mentioned this, and also Aphrodite, because I think I have repressed her within, so I repressed her outside, so I didn't want to look at it maybe somehow. I wasn't aware before we meet now, so it's interesting.
Yay.
Yeah.
That is all coming up. I want you to contemplate the why you have that as well, because
now I know why I have this, because it's in my very patriarchal belief system of the church systems within my families, repressing sexuality, sensuality, and I see it within the families. They are abandoning their femininity actually in every way they could. Everybody looks more male like than feminine like. So I think I'm maybe the only one who comes most close to the Aphrodite, even if I repress her.
but the thing
So
is
I
like
don't know.
the thing that now at least you can feel her, then you can talk about it and you recognize her.
Yeah. And I feel it's really expanding my heart and my solar plexus as well, especially my solar plexus. It's really because of the repressing energies of the feminine being wrong, like seducing men. Yeah. Yeah. So the only way of expressing some seductive energies was being shy. That was the only way, and like vulnerable, like a childish shyness. I don't know. It's yeah.
Okay, I wanted to use that word, seducing. Did you say just seducing, right?
That's the, I'm sorry, it's not my word, but I feel it through the family system, seducing, like indeed, like you just mentioned, like the in the patriarchal system, it's indeed the magnetism of such a woman who embodies the feminine energies and accepts herself and loves herself and knows how to dismantle emotions and stock traumatized emotions to go through, I think.
Okay, let us unpack the word.
Yes.
I love to unpack the word.
Yes.
Seductive. So what is
Mhm.
seductive means to you? Let's do that. What is seductive means to you? Or look like to you, feel like?
Yes, it's funny because I know I took over the the view of my family. So, but it's not my original, my blueprint view of this, of course. Seducing is actually triggering people into feeling. I feel subconsciously. If if we are in our power, or maybe subconscious power, I know it's this is really confusing me because if I want to look at it, my whole family system feels like blurring my vision about this, because there's so much fear programming around sexuality and being sinful like this. I really feel like, oh no, let's make her blurry. We don't want to tiptoe it, or we don't want to touch it. But I want to touch it myself. So, but I feel really refusal from my family systems within, denying that there even maybe exists something as seductive energies. It's so much repressed. Wow, it's whew. But it's still repressing within this oyster shell. But it's high steamy energy within. But the shell won't crack yet of the family system. Yeah, to shine the pearl's beauty, actually. And I trigger them into like, look what we do with the family system. Look what we create. Look, come have a look how beautiful we are doing this to transmute the energies, the dense energies of it. It's now process innerly done, it feels. And they are like, oh wow. But they're, and if I make them see now, they are really in awe instead of seduced, but they are really in awe of the purity and the natural state of such a peril. And now they get the point. It's our natural state of being. And doing and rubbing and clearing together the dense energies, actually. They didn't know before.
So Kyle, what is your definition of seductive and how do you feel into this word of seductive?
Well, I'm definitely with Naya on everything that you were sharing, because it literally brought me right back to when I was 19. Yeah, it's like the 19 energy again of me, of just feeling into it. So like I grew up Catholic and was very like strict with myself. Just like waiting till marriage and all this stuff, like all of this pressure of like not like oh my goodness, this is bringing up so much. So I was like very, very shy when I was 19. I was like in my shell, very like kept to myself, was an observer. I didn't do like I loved being with my family. I didn't really do anything like with my friends, like here and there, but I liked just being in my room and creating, and because I felt safe, that nothing could like hurt me or anything, right? Like life didn't have to deal with life, right? So it was like that whole suppression. And even with my creativity, it was like so much wanted to come through, but when my energy would get to a certain level of feeling like that, even the bliss and euphoria, that state, something would happen to shift me out of that state so that I wouldn't feel safe in kind of being blissful with creativity. I would get like distracted or interrupted or something, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of stifled my creativity. So I was just used to that. So I was just like stuck, just like I was like stuck, right? So then, so I wanted to break free of that programming and stuff. I didn't know how. So I just was like going through life through the ages and stages, and we're still that shy like person within. It was always in the background. And even like, I mean, like connecting with girls, I was like that little like charmer of me, right? Like I'd be like, oh, shy and you know, smile and all of that. But it was like nothing seemed to kind of stick, like a physical relationship. It was just like I didn't have the courage or the full confidence, because I thought, okay, like, you know, just smiling at her and thinking that was kind of like seal the deal, you know? But I'm just like, no, there's like more to it. But I was terrified. So I just kept myself small, and I dimmed my light a lot, to just kind of fit into society. And yeah, it's just like, just looking back, no, I mean, from the progress and the healing from when Sacred Heart Valley like was created till now, I've never even really fully reflected as like this, like with this whole everything that I'm processing right now for like the longest time. So it was like I needed Sacred Heart Valley to get me to that level, to just, I guess, to be seen, felt, heard, acknowledged, like just held sacred space, and I've never had that before. I was just like existing. It was just dealing with whatever was coming up in the moment, right? I mean, I got the best they could. I love them so much, but I knew that there was, like, my mom loved me as much as she knew from her mom, but I knew that there was deeper love. Like, I knew that there was more depth that I wanted to feel, but I didn't know how to get there. I didn't know, like, I knew it was there, but I didn't know, like, how to get there. You know, I could feel it, but it kind of scared me, because I'm like, this is such a different feeling. And I would get like goosebumps, and my whole body, like my heart would like I don't know that. So I goes down like the heart consciousness for 4 years with like an author, and journeyed with her, and it just helped opening the heart and like melting the heart. And then Sacred Heart Valley came, and I'm like, okay, this is like perfect alignment and the heart coherence, which I understand. And like when Lillian was talking about like the heart coherence and heart, I'm like, okay, this is my language. Like I understand this. It's just like the whole feeling of it, the feeling behind it, which is like the feeling of home and comfort, right? So now, like, I can feel myself growing now, back from like 19 now to like 34. It's just kind of the soul fragments, like the soul fractals, like bringing them back now. Yeah, like repairing myself from all of that. Yeah, so deep. It's definitely a root, like at my root of like, I mean, who I'm becoming now is like, I've always been about love, but it's just now having like soul family that understands and that we just grow with each other. It's almost like talking about it, and when you're 19, no one really understood it at like the level that we're understanding it now. But I just, when I read the book, I just knew that like just keep going, like just focusing on the heart, just putting my hand on my heart, and it would bring comfort and healing, and it would work. It was creating like permanent change. Like I've been through like 14 jobs, and I just kept up leveling, like next level, all with the heart. So it's just like I just trusting in the heart, like it's never let me down, like in just leading with the heart. And everything in my life, like heart song, heart music, like there's a Canadian group that they're always singing about the heart and leading with the heart, and I would sing that all the time. And whenever I was going through a hard time, it was called Lead with Your Heart by the Canadian Tenors. Have a chance to listen to that. It's beautiful. So when I was going through, it's called Lead with the Heart.
Okay, lead with the heart.
Lead with the heart. And I would listen to that constantly. Anytime I was going anything, like when I was at my lowest of my lowest, it was like the music and like the heart that helped me. So yeah, it's just now to have Goddess Aphrodite kind of be that archetype, that pillar for me to just hold me up, to keep me on the path. Yeah, it's beautiful. And then to reflect Aphrodite, like seeing it through other women as well, and that support. Now I'm like seeing it more than ever through like you both and everyone within Sacred Heart Valley. Like you all are goddesses, right? And just to express that and like experience it and like the physicalness is so beautiful. It's the greatest gift. Thank you.
Beautiful sharing.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's beautiful, Kyle. It's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. I relate to this. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to bring into seductive again. So seductive in the dictionary is called engaging the sexual activity
Yeah.
in the manipulative way. So can I ask you, who give this definition to them?
Sorry, I didn't pick up that question actually.
Who give this definition? Seductive is a sexual activities. Who? Who said that seductive is sexual activity?
Oh no, I don't say it's sexual activity.
No. I just said that because it is the definition.
Yeah.
That is like that, right?
Oh, like this. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's of course. I think it's this patriarchal programming of our masculine. I don't know if it's masculine energies, but the masculine energy systems within maybe. Because of the power, the gifts that it's giving to us. Because if I get excited, like Jen says, it's like, wow, if we only could use this gifts from seducing, it's so healing.
So I wanted to ask again. I want you to contemplate. Who give us idea, feeling of seductive is a bad thing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who said that seductive is sexual? How do we perceive that in our mind? Who give that? Who insert that chip in our mind?
Yeah.
Seductive is the art of our light. It's the inner light. It's just the pure light. So we have put the lenses of seductive as alluring. Nothing wrong with alluring, but we are thinking, feeling alluring is sexual. So who put that chip in our mind that we think that? So it's not us. This is ancestral.
Yeah. Indeed.
And go to the root.
Yes.
Right? So I'm not going to that, but I wanted to be, who give us that idea? Like, why do I have this seductive is sexual? Why? I was thinking when you talk about seductive, I'm like, hang on, seductive is just a pure light in our body. It's a beautiful light that I wanted to attract because I'm worthy. I want love from within that is shining out. And then you put another lenses like yellow color. I said that, nah, it's not good. Green one, nah, it's not worthy. And then the blue color lenses are, nah, it's not good. And then you, from the kids, you receive that in the subconscious. And then when you grow up, oh, I don't know why this is, I'm talking about this. Can you see that we're breaking now? We're breaking that lenses right in here, right now. So I want you to feel again, what is seductive? Close your eyes and feel into that seductive.
You mean what our ancestors were saying about being seductive?
No, I want you to feel what is seductive mean to you.
Now,
Yourself.
okay, yeah.
Nobody tell you anything.
No,
We pull up the
indeed, yeah.
chip,
Mhm.
delete this mental disconnect.
Well, it actually, it's so funny now I tune into this. It has nothing to do with seducing on purpose. Like, wow, I really get it now. Like how the programming from the ancestral, from the root is blaming, kind of blaming feminine to be seductive, and that made the programming within the brains of the feminine that they were doing it consciously on purpose, and actually it was not on purpose. It was a natural state of being, which made the masculine energies within weaken. So they felt more. My masculine side is feeling more vulnerable, which makes me not feeling like I'm powerful. It's the distorted masculine energies, within. Instead of because if you're a space holder from your divine masculine energies, you are one with this beauty of the divine feminine energies. Wow. I feel so much release now. I'm feeling like a nauseous, like getting from my belly, from my sacral. No, sacral from my solar plexus. Like the programming are now
Dismantle.
releasing. Wow. And you know what my view is like I should create a group set for the family, the feminine of my family, to especially my mother's line, I think first, to do some exercises around this, to get the roots from everyone, to show, to process through, etc.
You are doing it, Naya. You are doing it you first.
Yeah, sure, true. Thank you. I'm taking already the family system. I feel it's not only mine. It's really, and it's also stuck here. So I feel, wow, it's releasing a lot.
Yes. So now I'll let you before I jump to Kyle. So can you just practicing the breathing, deep breathing in from your mouth.
Okay.
Yes. Continue to do that. You can do mute. I'm gonna put you mute, and then Kyle. You, what is seductive mean to you?
Yeah, Naya, you hit the nail right on the head. Like, and everything that you said, it was like so, and that's exactly how I was feeling. You basically summed up everything from an experience that I had, where it was like, it kind of scarred me, where it was like, yeah, it was like that loss of power of, it was like the loss of power, vulnerability, loss of like kind of like control. Like it was like I felt like manipulated. um um yeah, it was like on my 19th birthday. It was like, yeah, I was taken to like this club and I never go to like clubs, but now I know why. Like it was just from that moment, it was like, oh, just feeling into it. It's like I wanted to run, but I didn't want to go there in the first place. But I didn't have like the strength to say no. Like I didn't even have my voice. Like I couldn't even speak up for myself. So it was like that's how I was like just going through life. Like I was just existing. But that moment, like at my 19th birthday, it was like, well, I'll get like really vulnerable, but I mean like, so like, oh, it's just unraveling everything. So I mean, like I've always respected women, like as best as I could, and even like, I mean, when I was a teenager, not even having like thoughts because I was like sinful and all of that stuff. So I would just control my mind. So it was like the suppression of not even thinking of like women as in like, 'cause I thought it was like sinful and wrong. So I wouldn't even feel any like sensuality or anything. So I would just shift my mind to like journeying outside of my body and doing my artwork and creating, being out in nature. And so I was able to shift it. It would take me a bit, like 20 minutes, but it was like such a or whatever. So it was like this pressure I put on myself, and it was like this like I felt like when I would go when like I went to a Catholic school and all of that. So we would go to confession, and I'd be like, yeah, like just having thoughts about like women and all this stuff, and I'm like, and it was like all this like shame. It was like all this shame, and then so on my 19th birthday, like taken to like a strip club, and I didn't want to go. Like I was just like, I didn't want to go at all, and I was like crying on the inside, and like the person that took me was really, their energy was really strong, but not in a good way. And like I didn't even have, like I couldn't, my voice was like, I couldn't even say I didn't even want to go. Like I didn't even have, like I was cringing on the inside. I was crying on the inside. So I would have this constant communication. I've always had this constant communication with like source, spirit, God, like the Holy Family and all of that. And that was like my saving grace. So it would just get me through anything. So in that moment, I was just like, God, just get me through it. I just want to like leave when I was there. And then there was like this feeling of like when you're 19 of like feeling all of this stuff, like when you like I never wanted to like see, I never wanted to experience like seeing a girl like that way. That was my first time of like not seeing, like, you know what I mean, like a girl like in the nude. Like, it was like for me, I wanted it to be that special time with like my girlfriend, or like I was actually at the point where from my upbringing and everything with church and everything, that I wasn't gonna see my girl like in the nude until like wedding day, right? So it was like all of that was just like building up, right? So I felt very shameful after, and I'm like, oh my God. And I felt like it was like a sin, right? I think I did, like when we had to go to confession in school, I think I said like I went like to like a strip club and whatever. But I was crying. I got home and I was crying. I was just like, oh my God, like I respect women so much and like all of this, and it was like out of my will, and I didn't like have the strength, and like it's just bringing up all this emotion, all this guilt. Yeah, just like letting it go. And I remember the girl came behind me and she brushed my shoulder, and I was just like, oh my God. So it was like the energy of seducing, and I was just like, oh my God, my face was red and I felt like this small. Like I felt like I didn't have like any morals or values. Like everything that I worked hard for was like my faith and like keeping on the path, and that I felt like it was gone. Like even though nothing actually would happen or anything, but it was just like to be so vulnerable and like innocent and pure in a situation like what do you do when like you can't even voice your voice or have say, you know? Yeah, that scarred me a lot. I didn't even really think of that. How that has been, I've been carrying that since I've been 19. Yeah. Just having
Thank you.
compassion for myself. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, compassion for yourself.
Yeah. And forgiveness for myself and like the person that took me, right? Because it's like that thing of like, that's what guys do. And I'm like, no, that's like not what guys do. Like the type of guy that I am, you know what I mean? But it's like, how do you explain that to like this, like, I don't drink. And I like, you know what I mean? That's not what I do. And it was trying to put me in this container of what I wasn't. You know what I mean? That type of guy, like being like respectful and sensitive and all of that, which it was like all the other projections, right? Of like, oh, you're too shy, you're too sensitive. You'll never get a girl if you're like too shy and sensitive. You have to be strong. You have to be like a man, right? You can't show your emotion. So it's like this whole looping, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can you also see it from another perspective, like these were soul contracts with these people, and thank them on a soul level to give your insights in this now, like they were there to find out now where you are and what your true self is, maybe, I feel. And send your true self in a loving way, healing to these people, because that's your true empowerment. You didn't know at that time because you were not aware and conscious of it, but actually you now know what you represent. So you now can timeline travel and send them healing, and maybe this is another contract you can send them on a soul level, this healing they need, and maybe they get the healing energy in the now, because time and space don't exist actually in a way we think in linear time. So it's multidimensional way of overview, like, wow, I now know how I process this, and because you have back your power now. I feel your gifts, you know, this wasn't your true self, and you didn't know at the time that you had to experience this. But I feel it's a way bigger picture from your soul perspective and your high self perspective, because you journeyed so much. You know how to hold space for these people, I feel. And you had to experience to feel so small, because you are the way leader for distorted masculine energy, in whichever way it comes, in whichever way distorted masculine are coming to you to get healing, I feel. And not to be judgmental also, because you had to experience it to attract the right men to you, who are now reflecting on their lives and these kind of lives, and who don't have a clue where to find themselves. But of course, you're processing now.
I just had an aha moment. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You want
I
to share what is
appreciate you, Naya, so much. And Lillian. Yeah. So what's coming up is my mom, like my stepfather, was like in this like distortion of like the masculine energy, and I was like kind of placed there to shift the perspective, like seeing it now. And then when my mom, like when my stepdad passed, then my mom had another relationship. It was the same cycle, like same person, just in a different body.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going through the same thing. And I've been wondering why this person's name has been coming up constantly every day. And I'm like, why is this person in my field?
Wow.
And now today it makes so much sense. Whew.
Yeah, you're the way leader, subconsciously, maybe now consciously,
Yeah.
but feel into that for sure. Yeah.
Oof, my body feels like woozy, like
So
it's
this is
like
the power.
releasing all of like, yeah.
That is the power of Aphrodite, inner Aphrodite. What you see in within the beauty beholder yourself, that what you need to eliminate from the struggle.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So true. Yeah.
Oh, we have to experience first. Experiment, and then experience, and then from that struggle, and then you rebirth and recreate and refine. This is truly a true path of Aphrodite, energy in archetype. And do not forget of her beauty. Everything around is beauty. The beauty around yourself, inner beauty and outside beauty. You adorn yourself, you adorn your body.
Yeah.
And it's
And
not
that's
about
why
the
I've
physical. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. I think that's why I've been always so connected to nature. It was like keeping that reminder of the beauty, right? That kept me safe. Like, I'm trying to process. It was like in the, like I would feel the beauty of nature, like create it as art, just communicate with it, felt safe with it, like the feminine energy as like the masculine, like the masculine energy, just witnessing the feminine, the beauty of nature within, which was just so nurturing but powerful and strong. And everything that I needed. So it was like being that parent for myself, like the father for myself, as well, but like in my own space. It's like when I would go into nature, I would receive like so much support. So when I went back in to deal with family, I was better able to just kind of just observe and not just watch, you know. I would just take everything to nature to just like, whether or not, like consciously, subconsciously, or unknown, I would just take it to nature for healing or like transformation. Doing that for years, but I wasn't fully conscious of it until like 10 years ago, of like just releasing to nature and working with nature and transforming and alchemizing and all of that. So yeah, it all makes sense now.
I want to expand your nature so that Naya can feel it and other people can feel it. So Aphrodite in nature is the expression of the world beauty. So think about it. So I want you to imagine maybe your backyard, other people's backyard. You see how they garden, right? You trim. I want the round shape of the bushes, round color. Round shape. I want this plant to be triangle. I want this plant to be square. I want this plant to be that shape, that shape. What does the world garden mean? Bushes everywhere.
Yes, indeed. I feel into this.
Bushes at the back.
Yeah, I don't have
on the
bushes,
floor,
but I let it grow. And
yeah. So I want you to imagine a seat on the floor. You have beautiful chair, whatever, or whatever things that on the floor. Sit on the floor there. Merging of beauty and wild together.
Of beauty and
Wild. The wild garden.
Yeah.
The
Indeed.
fertile ground and sweet nature. And you and the nature have that communion of oxygen in, carbon dioxide out, in and out, in and out. You're dancing with that nature and you're having the bliss moment with the nature of exchanging the breath. Isn't it that is seductive for you?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
So beautiful, isn't it? And feeling into the fertility of the ground, and you are sitting on it, the fertility of the soil that is on your bottom. And you're exchanging that breath. Breathe in, breathe out, and you're just having that blissfulness, sensuality, pleasure, whatever you feel into your body.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's so aesthetic. Yeah. So Naya, I want you to feel into that instead of writing. Put your pen down.
I'm sorry.
I want you to feel it. Yes. And I want you to feel, where do you meet this particular nature consciousness in your body? So sitting in the wild nature, exchanging the breath in and breath out. And then on the bottom, you feel the fertility ground, the fertile ground. What's underneath it is the root. And you exchange the breath in and out. Wow. I could feel that in my body. So you create the eroticism within the nature.
Yeah.
And you could slowly feel the aliveness in your physical body. That's a practice for today.
And first clearing density, I feel, wow, I'm shocking.
Yeah.
Releasing stuck energy.
Mm.
Stuck energy.
And you might feel your core stirring or something inside you is awakening. And breathe, deep breathe into that area, that sensation that might be new to you. Or you start to remember sweetness in your body. Mm. How's that feeling?
It's funny. For a moment, I got dizzy.
Mm-hmm.
That means I take too much oxygen, and breathing in feels like femininity, and breathing out feels like masculinity. So it's not balanced within me yet. And then I get awareness around the experience I had last week when I stood for my coffee machine, that I tapped into a past life. I was raping women as a man, and it's related to this, to not daring to give myself to anyone. It's interesting. I never realized. I thought it was about not being able of receiving, but it actually, it's interconnected, of course. If I cannot give myself to anyone, then of course I cannot receive. And then I want to receive because that's my feminine power. And then I get so high in oxygen and get dizzy of this. Wow, it's interesting how this is shifting together in wanting to being balanced out, because I also know I've had a life where I was raped myself in many ways, and so indeed there are both distortions on both feminine and masculine energies, which are releasing now. So
You're burping, so you're releasing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you are actually experiencing that heart alchemy from your heart as a
Yes.
heart frequency.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah.
Just be in that moment and nurture yourself now. I witness you of all the self-nurturing here, self-nourishing here.
Yes.
And Kyle.
It's so beautiful. It's amazing, like today's prominence, the prevalence. I mean, the sacred mirror of all of us, but I mean, like, Naya and I are so similar. Like, just everything, it's the same.
Yeah. How do you feel the activities, the embodiment practices that you just experienced?
It's like everything that I've been doing, like trying to explain to others, like how do you try to explain it? But it's like, it's a feeling. It's like, yeah. It's like you hit the nail on the head, Lillian, like too, as well, with everything. It's like, everything all just makes sense with the three of us, like here in the sacred space.
So today's conversation have a twist, but it is like it is what it is. Whoever who coming in, bringing the energy and just merge into the energy field, what need to release, what need to heal, the conversation will land. As I said, I prepared in a way that was the topic. And I said, only this morning, I look at my phone, oh, today is the event. Oh my God, what am I going to talk about? So that's every time I only have a very minimal note, because my experience with Sacred Heart Valley in my own, I did prepare word by word from the start of the community. It doesn't work like that. And I felt that I always have that energy coming in. I know that what to transmit straight away, because I can see what's happening and where. As it start from the seductive. The twist is start from seductive, because I see both of you as that is the mindset. We had a breakthrough. Who put your chip in to say that seductive is sexual? It is the nature state that when we do our own work, and when you look at person is seductive, is you are feeling the lack of yourself.
Yes.
That is why you feel that. When you feel not worthy, when you feel the lack, if you are full of love, full of aliveness in your body, you want that person to be in your life. You want to be partnered with that person. You want to co-create with that person, because you know that that's the fireworks there. There's a magic there. And you will not that person, because we are feeling the lack of ourselves. We are not recognizing that. And now we have the awareness. As I said, you guys have your own awareness by sharing. Alchemy starts from the share. Alchemy starts when you receive the frequency of the transmission in this circle. In the goddess circle is very powerful. It's an alchemical container. And whenever I said that, I always had the priestess energy coming in. Sorry. Why? I was add that energy in. So yeah, it would just pour in. I have feel like the strength in me. So yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for organizing this. It was really special for me. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Life-changing.
Yes, indeed. For me as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much for receiving, and I know that you'll continue to receive, and beautiful anew is on the way.
For sure.
On the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for attending. And
Thank you.
I see you. When I see you, I know that I see you a lot of times.
Yes, for sure.
Love you, Naya.
Yeah.
Love you,
Love you,
Lillian.
Kyle and Lillian.
Love you.
It's really amazing. Thanks
Yeah.
for this journey.
Mwah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you soon.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.